So I took the position December 23rd. Our FGD was live on February 1st, and it's June 17th, and we have 9 trucks on the road.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Behind the Franchise. I'm your host, Paul Ellinger, and today I'm super excited. We've got one of the newest franchises we've ever had on the show today. And so we've got Julie Harrell here from Cooper's Scoopers. Julie, thanks for joining us.
Super excited to be here, Paul, and chat with you and share about this incredible launch of Cooper Scoopers.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And maybe if you can, let's set the table a little bit and just run people quickly kind of through your background, how the heck you got to where you are today.
Love it. Yeah. So I've had a wild little journey. I actually started down following my mom's path, going to nursing school. So I was focused on healthcare. Dropped out of nursing school because I enjoyed the management side of it. So actually,
More
healthcare
so than the
management.
nursing side of it.
Yeah, I mean the patient care it's a little wild sometimes.
Mm,
So went and sat behind a desk
yeah.
in the healthcare world and really enjoyed that. I enjoyed kind of fighting for the patients a little bit because I was able to try and have some sort of leverage when it came to what was going to be covered when it came to their care.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, fighting against insurance companies, I'm not ever really going to win.
Sure, yeah.
But it was fun. And then took a step back and took a project management role in our family
Hmm.
to bring our sweet girls in the world. We had an incredible fertility journey that we worked through. So took on that
That's
role for
awesome.
a couple years. Very, very much appreciated that I was able to have my hands in that. And we were blessed twice. We have 2 little girls, but was ready to get back into the professional world
Mm,
and enhance my professional career. But I definitely didn't want to get back to healthcare.
sure. Yeah.
Did not want to fight the insurance beasts
Yeah.
anymore. So called a couple people that I knew and said, "Hey, I'm looking for something. I don't want to be in the office." I was working
Mm,
like 65 hours a week as a manager for healthcare practice.
that's tough.
Yeah, and we went through all of this to bring these children into the world,
Right.
and I wanted to have some time with them.
Right. Yeah.
So, had a part-time option to work for a franchise in operations support, and it was a fitness franchise. And I actually said no
Oh,
when they
really?
were like talking to me. I was like, nah,
No, I'm okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna do something else or see what else comes up. And then the person who's actually my best friend now, that I was interviewing with, she said, "I'll take whatever you can give me."
Interesting.
She said, "I see something in you, and I think you're an absolute rock star."
Well, that is a great hiring methodology right there. Can't say
I
no
mean
to
that. Oh my
that.
gosh, that did 2 things for me. One, coming out of like, new motherhood
Mm,
gave me some incredible confidence.
yeah.
Um, and really just pushed me to I took a part-time job for a month and then went full-time immediately
So
after.
you just needed a little taste, a little
Yeah,
appetizer.
I did. And it's definitely who I was surrounded with at the
Mm,
time to want me to pull the trigger to work full-time again.
sure.
Um, I did love the remote aspect, though, obviously, being a new mom. And then what was really cool for me personally, working in a fitness franchise, I got to hear these incredible stories of people walking into a gym and having their life changed.
Yeah. Yeah. That is awesome.
Not
It's like
only the
health. It's
franchise,
almost healthcare in a way, right? It's
it,
kind of the same
it is,
outcome, right? The
it
preventative
is
side.
physical, but the mental outcome it
Yeah.
was just wild. So that kickstarted my own personal journey for fitness.
Really cool.
And my passion. And I'm now 5 years into having my own fitness routine.
Heck yeah.
Um,
Congrats. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be where I am professionally without it.
Yeah. It is like, it's a great reset. My favorite thing to do after a long day is like a podcast walk where it's like, I need to think about anything that's not what business is right now. And I need to
Right.
be outside touching air, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it is. It's like checking out of all of your checklists for a minute. Even though sometimes you're
100%.
like, shoot, did I grab the milk that we needed for cereal
It'll be
tomorrow?
fine, you know? There's cereal the next day.
Exactly. You can have dry cereal. You'll be okay. But then we were actually acquired by another fitness
Hmm,
concept, and it wasn't verbalized, but I could kind of tell that maybe they really wanted people who could work in the office,
sure.
and they were 2 states away. We I
Built a
live,
life. Yeah.
yeah, I live a mile from where I grew up, so we're
Yeah.
very much kind of concreted in our neighborhood. And so I started looking for my next opportunity, but I was obsessed with franchising at this
Yeah.
point. To be able to create these systems for, people in all different kinds of territories that if
Hmm.
they execute it well, they can change their lives.
Yeah.
I was stuck. I was like, how
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
how do I find somewhere where I can still stay in my, hometown, but stay within the franchise world? And I actually joined Zoom and Grooming last year,
Yeah.
one of the fastest growing mobile pet franchises,
Yeah.
incredible team. But I was still doing what I was doing back at the fitness franchise. So I was ready for the next step.
Hmm.
So I just kept, dropping these little nuggets like, hey, if there's an opportunity,
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
your gal.
Just pushing it a little bit.
Yeah. Here's my name in whatever hat's available. And come to find out, that hat was dog poop. And if you told me
Exactly
that,
as you drew it up, right? That's exactly
exactly.
as you. Nursing to dog poop was always the pathway.
If you told me that, Paul, I mean, I actually, again, this is another time where I actually said no at first.
Oh, really?
I
This
did.
is so interesting. I love that.
I have to have all the information, right? But I was like,
Sure.
I don't think I can be passionate about poo.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So I said, let me think on it.
Mm.
I did say no at first, and then let me get some information, and then sitting down and opening up the World Wide Web and Chat GPT
Sure.
also to be
Yeah.
like, teach me all I need to know about dog poop in, an
Yeah.
hour.
You got 30 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah. And it was just wild. I truly thought the dog poop that's sitting in my backyard, probably right now, um, would turn into compost, and it was going to be okay for my grass. And I
Uh,
would clean it up when we were having a pool party or having friends over. The girls are running around.
sure.
But it's so toxic and it's
Oh,
getting
okay.
into our waterways. And I had no clue.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
like,
That's good. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, this is terrible. I get to educate people on how we can clean up our communities and, have a cleaner space for my girls and their
Yeah.
future and their future kids. So it became this very kind of superwoman moment where I was like, oh, I can get behind this.
Heck yeah.
And then I get to create it. Like it was my baby. So it gave me so many reasons to say yes.
Hmm.
Once I sat down and kind of dove into what the pet waste industry looks like.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I think whilst it definitely around the world a little bit with that journey, I think a couple things really connected the dots for me there. I think one, you're so very clearly value driven, and two, you're very analytical. It seems. I'm curious how that plays out in your day to day, like as you're building Cooper Scoopers.
Not without failure, obviously. I mean,
Sure.
I took this role as president. We had 0 locations,
Mm,
and so to create something, one, it was what is the most important thing to get from nothing to now. We have 9 trucks on the road across the
awesome.
nation, and for me,
And give us
that
the time
was.
frame there, because I think I know it, but for the listeners.
So I took the position December 23rd. Our
Yeah.
FGD was live on February 1st, and it's June 17th, and we have 9 trucks on the road.
Just a
So
little bit of a
it's,
sprint.
yeah, a little bit of a sprint. So for me, one, it's what is the most important thing that has to be done right now? Being able to lean into mentors under loyalty brands as well,
Hmm.
to help guide me and time blocking my schedule on what's important.
Yeah.
When you are the everything, right? You're the CEO to the janitor when you're
Yep.
starting, when you're in a startup position. You really have to be so careful about how your time is stolen throughout the day,
Oh yeah.
right? How is it a fire, or is it a, I don't know, something way smaller than a fire. But is it something that you can outsource?
Mm,
Who can you tap on? So for me, it's really time blocking my schedule to make sure that the most important things are getting done. And then
yeah.
checking in with a mentor to say, I feel like this is super
Is my head
important.
on right now? Yeah.
And they're like, no, what are you doing? Like, that's a 2-week project, or please
Yeah.
give that to, the marketing team or somebody else. um, that's been a challenge for me too, to kind of
Yeah.
remove that. I can have the idea, right? I can be the true leader to say, here is the outcome, here's the
Yeah.
result that I need, and here's the time, the person, and the energy that we need to get it done. But I don't have to be that person.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was intrigued by this because I've also had a background in operations and healthcare as well, and I think it forces you to be hyper tactical and hyper process driven, which makes you feel like you have to be the executor all the way through. And it feels like you kind of come of the same ilk, and it
Yeah.
is a rewiring, absolutely, to be able to like hand that off because we're a startup tech company. We feel the same exact pressure, you know.
Right, right. And then if you do, then you actually aren't going to grow, right? We're,
Yeah,
we're trying to teach our franchisees the same thing, and
yeah,
we
hundred
have to
percent.
check in with our sales ourselves to say, hey, look, we're trying to scale a business. We want our franchisees to do the same. So make sure that you're checking in with yourself to know that this isn't something that you have to be doing right now.
Yeah,
You need to let somebody else do it.
I'm a big fan of like we've got 1,000 fires going on at once, and it's like we literally cannot touch them all, and
Right.
so it's like acknowledge the fire exists, write it down somewhere, and then it's our job to kind of like I use the Eisenhower matrix, right? Like how important is it, and can it be solved right now? And it's like that's how we decide which fires to put out, and you just got to put the blinders on. Like sure, it may be
Absolutely.
burning, but it's not burning down the house, you know.
Right, right. I love that. I love that you're acknowledging it. I think that,
My
especially when
wife
you're,
is a psychologist, so mindfulness is a big thing in my life, and we've learned, we've grown over time.
oh my gosh, how incredibly powerful is that to be able to apply in your business though? That's awesome.
It sure depends on the day.
I have so much mindfulness right now.
Exactly. No, I love that, and I think like we touched on it a bit there, right, with kind of operations and how that's played into it. But I'd love to, understand like it has to give you such an amount of empathy, right, coming from the franchise operations side, where you're like in the gritty day to day with franchisees, to getting up to the president position and then helping franchisees as they're the president of their location. Like, how much do you bring that empathy for, like, hey, I know we're in the weeds right now, we need to do this or that?
Yeah, I mean, that's been exciting, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm walking through this entire journey with them, holding their hand.
Mm,
But it also creates this space to be like, hey, I can pull information before we hop on a call or before
sure.
I text you,
Yeah.
to kind of see where you are within your business, especially being a new brand and
Mm,
launching in a new territory, and say, hey, the first 5 minutes of this call is just for whatever you need to talk about,
yeah.
and how you're feeling right now, because it's a grind. And, if you're working a full-time job, if you're a full-time mom,
Sure.
and you're going into business ownership, you have to consistently work to turn that part of your brain on if this is your first business. And for a lot of our franchisees, it is.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always walking into a call to say, where do you feel like you are right now, and how can we get you to those true goals that we called out last week?
Sure.
Um, and going into every single call, yes, I want all of
Yeah.
my franchisees to perform very well, but knowing all of the other factors that are potentially taking place in their day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, just constantly being some source of support outside of action items.
Yeah, yeah. It's to your point, owning a business is very all encompassing. I always like to talk about how like there's not really work life balance. I like to call it just like work life symmetry. Like you have to feel okay with the fact that like, hey, it's gonna flow and ebb, and like you might be sending an email at 10 p.m., but that's also why you can go drop your kid off at 2 p.m. Like,
Right.
and you kind of just have to shift into that. But when you've been in a career for a long time in an office or a 9 to 5, like it feels very weird and very encroaching.
Yes, and it's important to remind our franchisees of why they took
Hmm.
this step.
Yeah,
When you are, working for yourself for the first time, and no one's saying, hey, you need to turn this in by Wednesday,
yeah,
right? This is your deadline. Your deadline is every single day, because you have to show up for what you said yes to, for
hmm,
yourself, for your family, and for your why, right? For
yeah,
a lot of people, that is work life balance or symmetry.
yeah,
Um, for a lot of people, that's, a dream home or vacations or,
Sure.
whatever that is. But
Yeah.
if you can't remind them of that why, and remind them that they do have to show up every day for themselves, that's the franchise opportunity there.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think you obviously you had to discover the why, to then be able to deliver that. Like, how do you bring that about, or how do you think about that when you're building, the brand Cooper Scoopers? Like, how are we making sure that the why is in every decision as we build?
Yeah, so a lot of that just comes from, my own family,
Mm.
and then looking at my franchisees and in a loving manner to
Yeah,
say, hey, this decision is made, to impact their why.
yeah,
So it's it's very humbling when something screws up too, right? Because
sure.
I have,
Because you also know it's impacting their why negatively as well, right? Like it's
right,
it's a
right,
it's
right,
a
right.
deeper thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance, but it's also an incredible gift that I have,
Yeah.
to be able to work through these issues, because we're going to have them,
Yep.
whether they're super positive or train wrecks.
Yeah.
So work through them with a lot of love and heart at the base of it.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love that. I think it's almost a sickness my wife and I talk about, where it's like I love building companies. It's so fun. It's so freaking difficult, but it's just like that level of impact in everything, right? In each individual you touch and every customer, like you just literally cannot achieve that in any other way. I don't think.
No, no, it's been wild,
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, I love that. I'm curious. So you kind of, when you're going through your journey of stepping into the role of president, you kind of talked about how you tried to understand the market and all that. And I'm sure with that, like you found every customer competitor out there, right? Like I'm curious when you saw that and when you think about what you're building with Cooper, is like, how do you compare yourself to the market? How do you guys make your brand stick out?
Yeah, so Cooper Scoopers for me is more of an elite pet
Hmm.
waste company. So if you can make poop fancy,
Yeah,
we want to do that. I think for me, we have to remind our franchisees and especially our customers,
yeah,
we are not a pet waste management company. We are your friendly weekly pet waste pickup
yeah.
and check in with
Your
Cooper, right?
concierge. Yeah, your
Right.
concierge.
So for us, like all of our technicians are Cooper Scooper certified, and lawn care 101, lawn safety and pet safety.
Yeah,
So those are the things that we're doing before we're even scooping. We want to make sure
yeah,
that there's not a fence post loose where, for me, I have little Maggie where Maggie's going to run out,
yeah.
and the neighbor's dog's going to attack her or something, or
Right.
Maggie's been chewing on a tennis ball. She loves tennis balls, but tennis balls are the worst toys
I could
for
see that.
dogs.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's just
she
like
tears it
dyed
up
with
and
paint, and there's
right,
fibers
right.
everywhere. Yeah,
And so, she tears one up, and Cooper's technician says, "Hey, just to let you know, like there was something maybe sharp in Maggie's
yeah,
waist or something that, shouldn't be there. I
hmm,
just want to let you know. We want to make sure our pets are always safe. So that is where our beautiful truck is going to pull up to your house. You're not going to be ashamed. We don't, we have a classy looking truck pulling
yeah,
up. And then we're going to make sure that your backyard is safe and clean for your pets, but also for your kids. So our sanitation and deodorizing, we recommend that everyone has that added on to each service. So it's going to kill all the E. coli and salmonella that's
mm.
lingering in your backyard. I have a really fun fact for you.
Please.
How many pet parents allow their dogs to sleep in their bed?
Oh gosh, 65%.
76%.
Oh god.
I had to send that to my husband because he hates that our dog sleeps in our bed, but
You need to turn that into how many particles of poop come into bed every night because the dog is in the bed.
exactly. So when you sanitize and deodorize, that's going to kill all of that off.
Mm,
So your 76% of your dogs that are sleeping with
good.
you aren't bringing anything into your couch, your bed. I mean, even your carpet, right?
Sure.
But yeah, I love that I was able to send that to him. Be like, we're not the only ones.
No, I love that. I find it really interesting. So I was interviewing Tim Vogel from Scent Hound
Yeah.
just the other day, and obviously they gear towards the health aspect of it as well, right? And I
Yep.
think it's obviously been super successful for him. They also talked about the longitudinal data they're creating, right? And I think you guys are kind of doing something similar there, where it's like, hey, if we notice 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row that we have issues with the waste, there's something in it, like maybe that's a behavioral issue or something like that. Like, how do you think about the data you guys are accumulating just by being such a present force in the pet's life?
Yeah, so one that's a great communication aspect for us
Mm,
to create that relationship with the pet parent, going above
absolutely.
and beyond. But even more than that, I mean, loyalty brands as a whole, we want to be the number one resource for all of our pet parents.
Mm,
So that could in turn be another opportunity for us to offer additional pet services.
yeah.
And so we have Zoom and Groomin, Hike Doggy, and Salty Dog
Yep.
under loyalty, as well as Cooper Scoopers. So it's a lot of opportunity for our franchisees as well. We have
Yeah.
some franchisees that are stacking brands.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's a great opportunity not only for us to be able to communicate and provide additional safety data to our pet parents,
Yeah.
but to be the number one resource for additional services if we're seeing a trend.
Yeah, no, I love that. And so you're, I mean, what is it, 6 months in? What have been the biggest challenges and surprises, as you are building this brand? Like, obviously, outwardly, we're seeing the successes, the news articles, the new locations, and all that good stuff. You've had to had some tough learnings. What have you come across?
Well, one, the fact that you said 6 months, I could tell you that I feel like I've been in this
Like
position for
17
years.
years later.
Yeah, for me, it's I've shocked myself in the ability
Awesome.
to quickly figure out operations for like a brand that I had no idea about. Right,
Yeah.
I have no history in the pet waste industry, so I've surprised myself there. Some of the biggest issues it creating when I looked at what this year was going to look like and the
Sure.
goals that I set for the number of franchisees,
Yeah.
and then how quickly we did launch 9 locations, I had to make decisions that I thought were going to work for 5 locations, but I needed
Yeah.
them to also work for 25 locations at
Yeah.
the end
Very
of the year,
different
right?
stages and times. Yeah.
And it was very I am very lucky though because some of those issues revealed themselves very quickly with some of our CRM
We love
specifically.
fast fails. We love
Oh
fast
my
fails.
gosh, it still sucks, right?
Yeah.
People still spent time, money, and energy,
Yeah.
right? But it was a huge blessing that it happened so quickly. We were able to pivot, and then we also had the experience of all of our other pet brands to say, hey, here's a solution,
Hell
let's
yeah.
test it out, let's test it out. We had multiple people that were willing to test it out. But yeah, just making those decisions that, and again, there's going to be times when you're going to pivot, right? You're going to have 20
100%.
locations and you are going to have to make changes when it comes to some of your operational practices. But you still want to make sure that you're not impacting those 20 franchisees by having to come in and disrupt their daily operations.
Yeah.
So that's something, just making sure that I'm making sound decisions for our franchisees now,
Yep.
and for the next 25.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think it makes a ton of sense. And yeah, I think about that all the time. Like, uh, you solve a problem because it feels like the right problem to solve, and then you find out 6 months later, like we totally solved the wrong problem here, and it's like,
Yeah.
luckily for you guys, have only been around for 6 months, so you only have 6 months of a context window.
Yeah.
Um, maybe bridging the gap into kind of a broader, different topic. It's one, like I said, when you came on, we're doing a little bit of a series on pet care as a whole because I think it's an interesting time in the industry. Would love for you to comment on just how you think you're positioning yourself with a lot of the younger generations caring about that eco-friendliness, right? And wanting their pets to be healthy because they treat them like kids. I think I saw a meme the other day that was basically like, pets are the new kids, house plants are the new pets, and then kids are the new exotic animal that you must be rich or crazy to have. Was I think the meme, and I was like, yeah, that kind of adds
That
up.
is very accurate. And
Yeah.
if you have children and you're currently paying for summer camp, I see you.
So maybe talk to the market climate a little bit, right? Do you see like pet felt like it was booming for years? Do you still feel that? Do you see still the trends of the millennials and Gen Zs willing to spend on their pets? Do you think that's going to continue, throughout 25?
Absolutely. Well, one, also our grocery bills aren't going down, so
They're not, yeah.
we are looking for that companionship constantly
Yeah.
in this world of screens.
Hmm.
I can tell you, my husband will say sometimes it's chaos in the house, and he said,
Hmm.
"Well, Maggie's excited to see me."
There you
So
go. We
that
got
is
something counting on it.
right, right, right. So that is something I think that is going to increase, and then the amount of money that we're spending, that has to be we have to find another resource, right? So it's a
Yeah,
part time job,
sure.
and then we do not want to neglect those people as in pets
Hmm.
that are just ecstatic to see us, that are providing that unconditional love.
Yeah,
And then I also don't want to forget about our retirees. We have a very large population right now
it's
of
fascinating. That makes a ton of
retirees,
sense.
and for Cooper Scoopers was founded on that.
Yeah,
Our founder was sitting with her grandparents. you know Grandkids are getting busier and they're not visiting their
sure.
grandparents as often, so they're lonely. They want that furry companion, but they don't know what's lingering in their backyard, so we get
Yeah.
to educate them, and then we also get to keep them safe, prevent them from having any falls, by going in and making sure that their space is clean, sanitized, and deodorized.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's makes a ton of sense. The elderly angle I hadn't considered. I'm curious, like when you're doing that targeting and messaging. Obviously, that population very different than the millennial Gen Z population. How do you think about positioning in market to those different types of generational divides?
Yeah, so for them specifically, it is a safety hazard.
Hmm.
And we're also marketing to their children. So a
Oh, that
lot
makes
of
sense
children, right? They're booking these services
on
for their
behalf. Yeah,
parents. Yeah, as they're going into senior living communities, and then partnering with the senior living community as a whole.
sure.
That is a huge sale for them to be able to offer a pet friendly home.
Hmm.
But somebody has to make sure that the
Somebody's still got to
space
do
is
the thing.
clean.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So really a safety measure, and then targeting to their children to make sure that they're finding a home that has that service for them. That's one less thing that they have to worry about.
Yeah. Kind of on the market with that as well. Like I think through, you kind of brought up our food prices aren't going down. It is a turbulent macroeconomic situation right now, right? And I think one of the things I always think about when that happens is the middle class really loses out on some of the luxuries in life. They may not go on that as big of a vacation, but one of the places they love to spend on are like luxury conveniences
Absolutely.
and hassle-free services. Like I have to imagine that's the play for you guys is like how can we be the best possible thing that saves you time while taking care of your pet in the best way possible.
Saves you time taking care of your pet. Hey, guess what? You're going to be spending more time in your backyard. You're not going
Mm.
on those
Yeah,
elaborate
yeah, yeah,
vacations. You want to be able to throw the kids out back while you're busy, maybe catching up on some extra work. Make sure
yeah.
that the place that your kids and your pets are going is safe, clean, sanitized. You don't want them tracking anything in. Save you time from the dog rolling in its own mess, and then here we are. So yeah, for that, and it's consistent, right? It's a
Hmm.
reliable, consistent service that you don't have to think about. You
Yeah,
can't open that back door. You know that space is clean.
yeah. No, that makes a ton of sense. And maybe if you could, put on your mind reading cap for the future. Where do you think pet ownership goes? Like, does this trend continue ad nauseum, where it's just like pets are kids now, and we're always going to do this? Or how is it going to evolve over the next decade? Would you think?
I don't really. I see multiple. I see single family or pet owners
Hmm.
adding siblings
Hmm.
to their homes.
Yeah,
So I do see an increase there. Now, once a dog owner, I mean the trends over the years of consistently being a dog owner,
yeah,
it's really high.
yeah,
So I don't really see it going anywhere. Our population is growing.
yeah.
I can't, if I put a mind reader hat, I don't specifically see anything that calls out where someone would say, I don't want to be a dog hunter anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand. Yeah, totally get it. We always like to do a next section. It's just a little quick hitter question, kind of Rorschach. Give us the first response that comes to your mind in 10 seconds. How's that sound?
All right, let's go. I'm
Um,
nervous.
if anything makes you nervous in these questions, I've prepared weird questions, so it'll be on me. Um, Most understood aspect of running a waste management company.
Most understood?
Under misunderstood.
Oh, misunderstood. Um, most misunderstood. Poop can be profitable.
Love that. Pet care trend that you think is overhyped currently?
Oh, dog walking.
Dog walking. Okay, I love it. We'll leave it there. Favorite dog breed besides Maggie?
Oh, dang. Jack Russell.
Jack Russell. Good call out. Good call out. I do have to say, I have to interject. My first family's dog name was Cooper, so I was already rooting for your brand as this all was going off. So I'll put that
Everyone,
out
I'd
there.
like to introduce our newest franchisee, Paul.
Exactly. Shout out Cooper. He passed a few years ago. Great dog.
Aw.
Um, a question I always love to ask: what's something you've changed your mind about recently?
Pilates. I
Uh,
tried a Pilates class. It
For
was
the
actually kind of
affirmative?
cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like we
I
decided we
wanted,
hate Pilates now. No.
I wanted to hate it, but it was kind of cool.
Okay. Okay. Shout out Club Pilates and all the others like that. And then last one, something people don't know about you.
Oh, this is a really weird one.
Okay. Good.
I have webbed toes.
That's crazy. Are you faster swimming than the other people without web toes?
I'm always going to say yes, even though I'm not.
I love that. Well, beautiful. You heard it here first, guys. She has web toes. It's definitely helping her improve her business and be the best business owner she can be. This has been awesome. I always like to close an episode out like a good late night show host and give you the center of attention for a minute or whatever. Tell people what you're excited about, where they should find you, where they should find Cooper Scoopers, and all that.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Cooper Scoopers, we're in 9 locations across the nation and growing. You have an opportunity to find your prime territory at cooperscoopers.com. You can find a location near you or more information about franchising. Follow me on LinkedIn, Julie Harrell, and follow our Facebook and Instagram at Cooper Scoopers to see all the fun we're scooping up.
I love that. That was perfectly prepared. You've got your elevator pitch locked.
Thanks.
So nice job on that. And thank you so much for joining the show. It was great. Love the fun tidbits. Also love the angle you guys have taken just on what can be a dirty or messy business type. But I think you guys are doing it in a unique way. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Paul. Take care.
Absolutely. And everybody else, thank you for being listeners to the show. And we hope that you join us for the next one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.